Perfect. I liked the shape. I was ready to move on and add to it. A couple of things you can do. You can stamp into it if you have an object at home, like a wooden star or, whatever. You can stamp into it. Don't push all the way through, but you can stamp. That gives you an interesting texture. Put your finger behind for support if you're stamping. You may scratch into it. Just use a toothpick and scratch. You can add to it. Now, if you want to add to it, you have to do what we call slipping and scoring. So I'm going to demonstrate that by adding a handle. When you do a handle, it's just like making a coil. Think about the thickness. Now, it may feel weak to you at the beginning, but when it dries and it's been fired, it's going to be really sturdy. So you don't have to do a big bulky handle on a delicate piece of artwork. A handle is something that also takes multiple class periods. It's not actually something we can do in one day because you want it to harden a little bit. You want to at least wait a day, but we're going to kind of put a handle on this today because we're going to try. So if I were to put a handle on it, I would think about, I'd kind of start to measure. Maybe I want this to kind of have a pretty curve on the outside. I'm going to kind of look and think about, do I like the way this looks? Do I think it's too thick? Do I think it's about right? I kind of like it. I'm going to pinch off the end. I kind of want to make it curl up a little on that side too. So you would start to fit it to your artwork. Decide what works, what doesn't. I'm not sure having two curves, that looks like a little bit much. Maybe I do it like this. Maybe the bigger curves on the bottom. I could do something like that. So what I would ordinarily do is kind of smooth and clean out my handle. And then I would set it aside for a class period. And I would wrap it up with everything else, but I wouldn't attach it that day because it's not going to be very strong. It's not going to hold its shape. Today, I don't really have that choice, but that's what I want you all to do when you do your handles. I want you to make them, and I want you to set them aside for a day and give them a chance to harden a little bit. Your clay is going to harden a little bit every day. That actually works to your advantage because your base will get stronger as it hardens. So as you build on top of it, it won't be as flimsy. It also means, again, you kind of need to think about smoothing a little bit as you go. Don't wait till day 6 of the 7 days of clay. So when I attach my handle, I'm going to attach it here because I don't really want that to show. You're going to slip and score. So this is how you would attach anything. If you were adding eyes, if you were adding a nose or whatever your idea was. Thin 3D stripes. That might actually look kind of cool. You're going to scratch. You're going to get it wet. And then you're going to attach it. Really press down. Make sure it's going to stay connected. We don't want it to come undone. So really press. You'll see your water kind of seep out the edge, and that's how you know you've got it attached real nice and good. All right, so the attaching anything else would be the same way. If I wanted to roll out coil strips, and attach stripes to mine, I could scratch it, slip it, and attach it. Feet are the same way. So when you make a foot, whatever shape you want for your project, whatever works for you, maybe you want something, you know, if I were to attach it to this, I'm not going to, but if I were to attach it to this, I would want something kind of ornate to go with my handle, maybe a nice little curve like that it would sit on. So these, again, they would need to sit because right now they cannot support the weight of all of this clay. So you have to sit and let them dry for a day or two before you attach them. Remember, when it's leather hard, you can still attach. So wait and let it dry for a day or two before you attach it. If you want to cut out a shape, let's say I wanted to stick a heart on this, I would take it, flatten it out with my palm, well, maybe not that much because now I got it stuck. That didn't work. You want to do a shape, flatten it, just not that much because it'll stick. Or maybe flatten it on a sheet of paper, it'll peel off of paper. And then take whatever your scoring tool is that you have, whether it's a toothpick or a paper clip. You can cut your shape out that you wanted to attach. Might want to clean mine up a little because I've got a few bumpy spots on it. Then I would slip and score it, scratch it up real good, get the water, dampen it, and then I would push it down. That's how I would attach something. If your clay, as we work, mine is not this way today, as we work, if your clay starts to get too dry, you can always dip your finger in the water, re-wet it, or kind of dampen it, and it'll smooth your cracks out. That'll kind of happen to you. Like even my little handle right here has a little crack in it that I want to smooth out. And again, that's a good place for the sponge too if it's a broader area. So those are the basics for how to make a pot in ceramics. Again, I'm just going to keep working this till I get it exactly how I like it, because I don't think I like it. I don't think it's perfect yet, you can tell. So I'm just going to keep working mine. Notice all those little bumps. Again, a good way to tell is to spin it. You can tell where the bumps and the high points are. Don't spin it super fast. That's not permission to make it a game. It's just meant to kind of help you gauge what could be improved. Where are your high points? Where is it kind of wobbly? It's handmade, so it's okay if it's not perfect. But you're just going to keep tapping. You can see as I tap, it changes the shape. Just keep on tapping. You can barely nudge and push things out a little bit if you want, until you get it exactly perfect, how you like it. All right. Good luck.